Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, an InDreams production where we diffuse the news. My name is Andrew Mulgison and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host Chris Sloan.
Good day.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, not bad.
Very good, very good. Now I've been meaning to say to you, Chris, since you've walked in, I really like that red cravat you've got on. It really does a lot to your kind of physical appearance.
The red cravat?
Yeah.
Nothing else about the Jacobean dress that I'm wearing?
No,
just
not
the cravat.
at all. Just the cravat. I don't mind the rest of it.
Okay.
It's the cravat that caught my eye, but yeah, it's pretty nice.
Or the white makeup and the big black beauty spot that I've got on. It's just only the cravat.
Only the cravat. And it's 2019. You can do what you want.
Okay.
I know, it's all fine.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if I would go with the cravat because I had a ruff that I was going to put on instead. And
I'm glad you did go for the cravat though.
Cool.
It's very nice. Yeah. Well, yeah. How's your week been going?
It's been good. I've put, as I mentioned last time, I've bought Persona 5.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about gaming. I was just wanting to know how your week.
Generally.
Yeah, just how have you been doing?
Oh, one day to the next.
Yeah.
Struggling through.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, do tell me about your gaming week though. You did say about Persona last time, and you got that awesome deal. Was it 16 quid? Was it?
Yeah. It was about 20, I think, but I got the Ultimate Edition or whatever it's called.
Of course.
It's been really good. I've played about 5 hours of it. Out of 100.
I was about to say that must be like kind of halfway through the game.
No, not quite.
No.
It's like 100 hours, so I've barely scratched. Literally where I've stopped and saved. It's just let go of my hand.
Right.
Which sounds bad because you're kind of over 5 hours through a game and it's just then.
Still giving you tutorials.
Yeah, but there's so much that you need to know about it, and there's so much that you have to learn before it can let you go and just play. So
yeah,
it's interesting. It's not like a sort of boring. I think some of the bits could be a bit quicker, but
yeah.
And especially if you've played other Persona games before, you're gonna know a lot of what it's saying.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You don't need as much, but no, it's been an interesting first sort of 5 hours or so. It's nice to play a JRPG again, a bit of turn-based combat.
Indeed. I came on to you recently and I saw some of it. The visual art in that game is ridiculous. Like, it's so over the top, but in a very cool way.
Yeah, it's just reds, yellows, and blacks. And everything's kind of like splashed onto the screen, kind of like almost like a graffiti kind of thing. And
really cool.
So the pause menu, and also when you're making your decisions what you want to do in the combat as well, it comes up on the screen around your character like that. It's quite overwhelming to begin with, but once you get used to where everything is and what you need to do, it's really cool. I mean, just in terms of, I'll tell you a bit more about what the game is then.
Oh yeah. No, definitely, that'd be useful actually, because I don't really have much history with Persona games, and so I don't even really know how their combat system works and everything, or what you are doing. Yeah,
I mean, basically, I've only really played 4 on the Vita when it was released in there, 4 Golden, I think it was called. But it's kind of similar to that in how the combat works. So it's all turn-based. You can, I think there's like 4 of you can have in your party at one time, and there will be a number of different enemies that you've got to fight, and there'll be weird kind of demon-looking things that are all sorts of different designs. And there's loads of different options, but the main thing, like the name of the game says, is you have these personas. Yeah. And in the games, they're generally meant to be sort of parts of your like character that like come out, and they will like fight. Kind of like kind of like Pokemon. Okay. Like and you use these things to fight, and so you have the choice of what you do in combat. You can either use a persona ability, and they can be different elemental damage. It can heal your party. It can put status effects and things, all sorts of different things like that. Or you can just do normal attack, or in this one there's another thing you can do with kind of guns, where you can hold up enemies and then they can either become an extra persona for you, or you can get money or items from them. Okay. Which is cool. So
not just straight up either kill them or you die, basically. You can actually interact a bit more with.
Yeah, or you can hold them up and then just like execute them.
Oh, fine.
Which is quite
excellent.
I've not actually done that yet, but I've not had much chance to.
Moral compass hasn't flown off yet.
Yeah, and speaking of the moral compass, this game, like, so I'm only 5 hours or so into it, but it really, some of the stuff it brings up, I made a note of some of the themes just from the first 5 hours. Things like sexual abuse, suicide, mental health, terrorism, there's terrorist attacks going on in Tokyo, which is where the game's set. literally in the first 5 hours.
Some light subjects.
Yeah, and I remembered that from 4 as well, that there was a lot of really sort of deep topics being brought up in it. But this, and it's done quite, it's done well, but quite heavy-handedly, because of, I don't know, it's just that's kind of how the Japanese role-playing games generally do things. But it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to just sort of playing it kind of on the back burner, like when I've got a few hours here or there, just jumping in and playing a bit more. Now that it's sort of let go of my hand and I can kind of save when I want and do all this, it's going to be easy to just play an hour, half an hour here or there.
No, definitely.
But basically it's about, you're this, so the main character in Persona games is always a sort of silent, it's you basically. They're not voice acted or anything, and your main character this time was living kind of in a suburb of a city, and he hears this younger woman being basically like sexually assaulted by this drunk guy, and he goes over to her like and try and like step in and stop it, and you end up punching or like attacking the man who's assaulting her, and then he basically like calls the police and then like sues you
for beating him.
And obviously like the police like take his side and everything, so basically you get sent to live with this guy who runs a coffee shop in Tokyo, and you're there and you go to this school, and it's basically said from the beginning that you're seen as like a criminal, and all the other kids at the school think that, and which is kind of weird. I don't understand like how that situation landed you like that, but basically then you sort of go to school, you make friends, and then basically the way that the dungeons and all the combat, what happens in it is that there's kind of a parallel world, which is kind of run by like the bad guys and what their perception is. So for example, the first main enemy in the game is a teacher from the school you go to who is basically like physically abusing the volleyball team, and like trying to sexually abuse some of the students. So it's pretty ridiculous, but he basically sees himself as like the king of the school. And so when you enter the sort of parallel world, it's seen as a big castle instead of a school, and you go around fighting it, and it's cool. It's really good. It's just I didn't realize it's over 2 years old. I thought it was much more recent. It was April 2017 it came out, but really enjoyed what I've played so far, and I imagine keep on the back burn.
Because it's such a big game, it's one of those ones that's managed to stay in conversation because people play it so much, and when they start it they probably take months and months to play through the whole thing, so it kind of remains in conversation for that extended period.
It'd be interesting to see how it would feel if you just spent like, I don't know, 7 or 8 days and just played it non-stop from beginning to end, rather than playing it over a few months. I
suppose also you were saying that it's kind of I'm right in thinking you're at school and you're kind of going through literally the dates. So you're going in not real time, but time progresses.
Persona games happen like you start on one day and then things will happen. Like the other thing is, so we've got to beat this school teacher basically in this parallel world, and you have like a deadline to do that. So basically the idea is that he knows that we're onto him somehow, and he's going to try and get us expelled, and if we don't beat him in the next 2 weeks, then we'll get expelled, and that's game over. That's game over for the game. So you have a deadline and everything, so it keeps you, but you generally you can generally spend your time how you want to. And another big thing in the Persona games is your personas get stronger the better relationships you have with your friends and the other party members. So doing things in the day, like spending time with this person, going shopping with them, going fishing with this character, boosts your connection, and so your personas get stronger.
So whilst it would normally be like a bit of I can't be bothered to waste time going shopping with a friend or something like that, actually there's a benefit to doing that, plus building out the characters in the world.
And so it's kind of, it just gives you a bit more diversity instead of, say, like in a Final Fantasy game where you'd have to go and grind on a load of enemies to get XP. And you can do that in Persona. You can go into the dungeon and just grind on everything, but you can do that and go and do the other stuff as well. So it's just a bit more diverse in what you can do.
No, that's good. Yeah, because I was going to say with the way the time progresses, I suppose that naturally leads into maybe playing the game in a slightly more kind of slow manner in terms of you have days going past in the game, so therefore I'll play it over several different days, type of thing, instead of everything literally happening one after the other.
And it's weird. It's like some days can go past and it will literally be all you do is you go to school, you
chat to people.
You chat to people. You go to a coffee shop, and then that's it. That's your day.
Yeah, excellent. Real life sim.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And there's a talking cat.
Oh, and there's a talking cat. Yeah. That's the main USP there.
Yeah.
real selling point. Excellent. Yeah, no, it sounds really good. I think it'll be good to check in with that further down the line, see how your thoughts have
I'll
changed.
probably just crack on. I probably won't talk about it for a while. I want to get a sort of fair bit into the game before really have any bigger thoughts on it. But I just enjoyed the opening of it, really. That's kind of all I've played. But
yeah, well, continuing on from what you were talking about last kind of episode with playing a VR game, you played Moss, wasn't it?
Moss.
Yeah. I, over the last couple of weeks, have been playing, I think you pronounce it Deracine, which is From Software, who are the guys that do Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, those kind of games.
So they're not very good, are they?
No, pretty average developers. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. I think it was last year. They randomly at one of the PlayStation kind of E3 conferences or kind of one of the PlayStation events announced a VR game called Deracine, which I think when people go into the game, well, at least I did, especially when I went in, I naturally thought like, right, this is going to be some sort of pretty horrific type of experience like most of their games are. But actually, it's this really, really like quaint and nice little story about a load of kids at a boarding school and like interact, and you being like a fairy, kind of watching them go around and helping this little girl out, kind of like spoil the soup that one of her friends is making and stuff. And like, it's just really quaint and odd.
Sounds like a bullying game.
Yeah, well, it's somewhat, but in a slightly nicer fashion.
Okay.
It's definitely there's no mean-spirited nature to it. But it's interesting in that the world, the building, the school that you're in is really nicely realised. It feels like this kind of really old English kind of boarding school type building. But everything happens in like a scene. So whilst you're in a 3D building, the move controls are like the teleport system.
Oh, okay.
So kind of where you
like
look.
the Batman.
Yes, the Batman VR one. So you look at where you want to go, and then you can teleport to that place. And you only have like, it will highlight where you can move, so you can't literally move everywhere. Yeah. But so every time you go to a new room, generally speaking, there won't be like characters moving around. Everything's still in place, and then when you move, something else might move at the same time. But so far, really fun little, very atmospheric feeling, a nice little narrative. I was really taken back by it actually, because I was expecting some horrendous monster to be in it, but so far...
Well, have you finished it?
I haven't finished it. I haven't
okay.
finished. There's still a bit to go. And the characters in it are a little bit creepy in that kind of... they're maybe a bit too nice acting the whole time. So I don't know whether there is some ulterior motive at points, but...
You'll probably get killed by a boss later, and then you'll lose all your souls. And
absolutely. Some horrendous monster will come out of the floor and rip me to
start
shreds.
The whole game again.
Yeah, it will delete all my saves, and yeah.
And everyone will love that.
Horrible thing. But because I didn't finish that, I did finish another game, however, and this time it's not on PlayStation. Can you believe it?
Is it a Witcher game?
It's not a Witcher. I'm not even going to talk about The Witcher, although I will say that I did play a little bit more Blood and Wine. It's still an amazing game. But no, I actually played a mobile game.
Uh-oh.
So I thought I was being a bit too gaming elitist over the last couple of weeks, so I played a mobile game. It's a game called Photographs. Have you heard of it?
Photographs?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Is it just the camera app?
Yeah, it's just the camera app, and you just walk around town taking photos of kind of anything you like, and then you upload it to a social media thing, and people like it.
And so the more likes you get, the
better you feel inside, kind of. And
excellent.
Yeah. No, it's called Photographs. It's by a company called 88 Games, who I think there's a couple of people that work there now, but it was originally like this guy called Luca Redwood who kind of created the studio and created a couple of games. The two that he made before on iOS, I'm pretty sure they're on Android as well. First one was called 10 Million, and then the second one is You Must Build a Boat. And these games are basically mobile RPGs, but in the form of like a match 3 kind of game.
What does that mean?
So like like where you've got what's it, like Candy Crush kind of type thing, where you've got a grid of colourful things and you have to get 3 in a row and then they disappear. But it's an RPG like so You Must Build a Boat. You literally have a boat and you have to go into little dungeons and fight things, and the fighting happens as like a match 3, and depending on what match 3 you do, you maybe get an item or something, and then you can build a bigger boat from unlocking stuff. You can have a shop in your boat, etc. And they kind of expand from there. They're all, I haven't actually played either of them, but people rave about them. Really,
they are both on Android, by the way. Just check.
Perfect. Is Photographs on there?
I didn't check that.
Oh, check that while I say it. Yeah. So Photographs, I heard a couple of websites talking about it. I was like, oh, this sounds interesting, because those other two, whilst people talk highly of them, and obviously they've got these kind of RPG mechanics, the whole match 3 element to me was always a little bit off-putting to me, because I've never been really into those kind of games. But then Photographs came out, and it's an odd one to explain, but essentially you are 5 little narratives, basically. It's broken up into 5 sections for 5 different characters. Each one about half an hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay. So you can do it in like a train journey type of thing on the way into work or whatever. And you are set up with a scene. So there'll be maybe a little bit of talking with the character, and you'll kind of see maybe a bit of their life happening in this kind of pixel art. And then it will stop, and you kind of touch the screen, and your finger kind of zooms in like kind of like you're looking through a camera, and you have to zoom in on the little pixel art screen. And at the bottom of your camera, it will have a written word like clouds or something like that. And you have to go and focus on top of the cloud that's in the picture. So it will give you a hint as to what you need to look at. Mm-hmm. Once you hold it over there, it will then snap a picture. And at that point is where the kind of game aspect starts. And each person's story, where you're in these kind of photographs, will have a different element to how you play the game. So I did one which was this woman. It was she was a teenager in for the GBU swimming team. So she was in a diving team.
Okay.
And she's kind of practicing and trying to get really good. And you go into the picture, and then all of a sudden the game becomes this little square, and you have kind of like Angry Birds almost. So you've got like a little slingshot type thing, and you're trying to get it into a little bowl of water. So you're angling it at the right way so that when you shoot, it ends up in the water. So the first one, nice and easy. Then you've got to bounce it off a wall into the water. Then you've got 3 different slingshots. Then you've got bouncing places. You've got to like make it go around the edge of the screen and all sorts. So they get more and more complex as it goes on.
Yeah.
So that was one of them as an example. There was another one which was you had to get... You were basically... It was like a bit of farmland in a square, and your characters on the bottom, you had like 4 characters, for example, they each had a bit of farmed land, but it was like a puzzle. So you had to match them up in the right order, and they only fit in one direction, and then suddenly they would farm the land and it would be done.
Okay.
So each time it's a completely different game, but it all goes into the narrative of what that storyline is. So the diving one was about diving. The farming one was about a Native Americans who the kind of white men came over to take their land, and it's all about kind of the struggle between there. But the reason why I kind of wanted to mention it was the stories themselves are like pretty mental, like really dark.
Oh, really?
Really, really like impactful. There's like straight up suicide happens in it. There's like talking of performance enhancing drugs and how that will affect you and your family and stuff. And they're talking about kind of settlers taking over people's land, and a newspaper that only spreads hate instead of love, and and what that then does to the country as a result, and the family business. And I was really taken aback actually by it, kind of just on the train, kind of going through these hectic stories. But yeah, I finished it. Really, really good. Hugely recommend it.
Cool.
Did you see? Was it on Android?
It is on Android. Yeah,
Excellent.
It's 4.7 out of 5 stars.
There we go. Pretty decent. Yeah.
Only thing was though, I was looking at. I just saw the kind of splash images for.
Yeah, I can see where this is going.
No, it's probably not. It's a serious thing.
Okay.
Did he forget to put the graphics in?
Oh my god.
Like, it just looks...
I did know where it was going.
You did know?
Yeah, he forgot about the graphics.
He forgot about the graphics.
Yeah. Terrible.
Okay. All right.
But no, I would hugely recommend it if you've got a bit of time.
I think the last mobile game I played was probably Florence.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, Florence. Love that game.
Which was really good.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that actually. The way everything, and it sounds like it's similar on what you were just saying. The way that actually how you played it links with what the actual story was saying.
Exactly. It's really clever how it does that. And what I really liked about it is, so overall you may be looking at kind of 3-4 hours max, kind of. Yeah. None of the puzzles ever get too hard. You can, if you just stop for a second, think about it, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But each story is about 20-30 minutes, so it's quite easy to just do one, leave it, maybe another day, come back, do another one, and they're all independent on their own, so it's nicely broken up like that.
Nice.
So really recommend it. Definitely check it out. What's that? I think. Oh, it's time to diffuse the news. Right, Chris. So,
did you do it in time? You stopped it.
Yeah.
I'm worried one day you're not going to stop it and we're going to die.
Yeah, no. Don't worry. I always stop the fuse. Don't worry. It's okay.
Thank you.
I'll never let it blow up. Right. So this week, the last 2 weeks actually, there's a lot more news than there was.
Yeah, there wasn't
last
very much.
Time we recorded. No.
We ended up just ranting about Sonic last time.
Yeah, which that's
we
okay.
We can do it again.
We can do it again.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's leave that.
I've got nothing more to say about him. Except he's ruined my sleep.
Right, so I've got a couple of pieces here. They're not in any specific like date order or anything like that. The first one I had, which I think we'll just bring up the fact that it's news, but we will potentially go more in detail with this maybe in a future episode, maybe even next.
Maybe next time or the time after.
Yeah. So, PlayStation had one of their
is it State of Play,
which are they're kind of 20-minute long little YouTube streams they do. Where
it's kind of like a Nintendo Direct, isn't it?
Yes, exactly, like a little mini update on some new game announcements, some updates on old games, and kind of trailers for things. So I think there was a bit about Monster Hunter World with its kind of snowy expansion that's going to happen. There was a Predator game that's been made.
Yeah. It was
like a second party.
Friday the 13th, guys.
Yes, yeah, which is being published by Sony. So
cool.
I imagine it'll also be on PC because they've done that quite a lot with those kind of multiplayer type things.
Do you think is it going to play the same? Like one person's going to be the Predator and everyone else is going to be.
I think you're going to have one Predator and then a team of like army people.
That's going to be cool. Well, it's going to be interesting though because the Friday the 13th one was funny because it was balanced because Jason Voorhees is like really slow and but the Predator's
like so overpowered as an individual.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Not I don't know, I might give that a go.
I'd be interested in it.
If you can get a group of, I guess, like however many it is, probably 5 or 6 to play online, then that might actually be quite fun.
No, for sure. But the big thing at the end of this State of Play was they're like, right, here's an update on a long-awaited game that you've all been waiting for. And I was like, oh, what's this going to be? This is at like 11:30 at night.
You watch it live?
Yeah, I was watching live because I thought it was going to be an update on Death Stranding because Hideo Kojima's been posting a lot of images of him editing a trailer and stuff. So I was like, here we go. And then
E3? No, Sony aren't there, are they?
Sony aren't at E3, but I think they'll do something.
Maybe just before.
Yeah. Something's coming soon with that game, in terms of trailer-wise. But yeah, so then all of a sudden they were like, long-awaited game, and I was like, Death Stranding. And then it like started, and it wasn't. I knew straight away, and I was like, Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's got to be. And it was. We had Final Fantasy VII Remake reintroduced to the public again after what the initial announcement was back in 2015, I think, at E3.
Yeah.
2015, you had like a CG trailer with maybe a bit of gameplay.
There was definitely a bit of gameplay. Yeah. A bit of the combat. And then it was just a tiny little bit from the opening sort of Midgar section of the game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of all we got here, kind of, as well. Like, so similar to the surroundings. Yeah. I think there might be a reason for that, but I don't want to go into too much. I don't want to talk too much about it because there's a lot we can...
Absolutely. I think the fact that it's come back, then Square Enix said kind of, please tune into our... you will see more in June, which is basically, it's going to be at their E3 conference. So I imagine we'll get like a big gameplay segment release date.
I imagine over the next 2 episodes, we're probably going to talk quite a lot about this game. Yeah. So just really briefly, I don't know how much more you wanted to say about it, but how much...
That was basically it.
What was your impressions of the trailer? Do you like it? It looks good, or...
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Okay. I really enjoyed it. As the person who has no Final Fantasy VII knowledge at all, I enjoyed it. Cool. I thought it was quite exciting. I did see a little comparison with the old version of the trailer, and I thought the menu in the new one, I wasn't that keen because it looks like it's gone a bit more kind of action orientated instead of being a menu based thing. Even though I knew it wasn't going to be turn based, it's less like each button is mapped to a command instead of right, do you want to attack, and then you go down a list. But yeah, my general thing was, that was quite exciting, and I wasn't expecting it. So
yeah. I thought it was a cool looking trailer. I just wished it was turn based.
Yeah, of course. But
then I've read a lot of stuff around it as well when it happened, and there's a lot of people saying, well, if they were just going to make it turn based and exactly the same, then kind of what's the point? Yeah. So
then potentially. I think the only other thing worth saying at this point is just that they did confirm, although not in the trailer, they did reconfirm is still episodic, because there was some rumors that it was not going to be that, and they'd gone against that idea. But no, it is still episodic, which I do think means, I think there's a chance that in June we have E3, they full release it, kind of, or talk about it again properly with a proper gameplay trailer, etc. And I think we get a release date for episode 1 of it.
Yeah. And do you think it's next year? It's before the end of the year?
I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to say it's before the end of the year.
Whew.
Okay. What are you saying?
I don't know. I kind of think that as well, because I think also all of everything we saw in the trailer is from fairly early.
Yeah.
So that could all just be from episode 1.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just worry though. I suppose we're talking about it now though, but whenever we've had episodic games before, Telltale, the Life is Strange games, it's always been a case of you buy the season pass or whatever, and that gets you every game, and then it's always ended up being, let's say it's 5 episodes and it's a 25, let's say £30 season pass. This is not going to cost that.
No,
this is gonna be expensive.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the season pass is like £100 or
I can actually see that. I can actually see it being that.
How many episodes? We don't know how many episodes. Let's leave that for next.
Let's leave it for next
time. We'll properly theorize.
Man, I think that game's this is gonna be one of those first times, because we've been expecting it for ages for games to sort of increase in price a bit.
Yeah.
But I think this is gonna be the turning point for that, because I think
£60 for episode 1.
No, I don't think it's gonna be quite that, but I think it's gonna be maybe half that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll move on then from that, because we'll discuss that more in the next episode. So I just had a quick little article here. This is one that kind of flew under. I feel like it's flown under a lot of people's radar, because I just don't think anyone knows about it. I don't think it's really that important or big. However, when I looked into it, I thought it was kind of cool. There is a game called Project Boundary, which I'd never heard of before, but apparently it was originally announced in like 2014, I think. So it's been going on for ages. But it's this 14-person Chinese indie team making a multiplayer shooter, which straight away you're like, okay, whatever. Great. Why is this interesting? Well, the interesting thing about Project Boundary is that it's entirely zero gravity. So you are imagine like a spacesuit, and you are flying around like the ISS on the outside of it, trying to shoot.
Oh, cool.
So it's 2 teams of 5. Multiplayer only game, but yeah, the whole idea is that you're in space basically, and you're flying around a spaceship. I think you can go inside the spaceship as well. I think they've shown that, but most of it's all like on a spaceship where they have like the solar panels or something, which are gold and stuff. Like I saw one part where someone was like kind of hiding, and then he could see the shadow of someone coming on the other side of it, so he shot through it at the guy, and then he just saw him float out dead. Oh,
that's cool. I wonder if they actually use like no sound, or if you can hear. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, I watched a trailer for it, and I can't remember if I took note of that.
Because that always annoyed me. And there's, I can't remember which one it is now. The one that had Jon Snow in it, the Call of Duty, that the one that was set in the future.
Yes.
There was little bits where, was it Advanced Warfare or? No, that doesn't sound right. I don't know.
It might.
I'm not very good on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Or Infinite Warfare. They all sound the same, don't they?
Let's just call it Call of Duty. Yeah.
Call of Duty with Jon Snow. Call out Call of Duty. There's a bit in that where you're sort of out like that on the edge of outside of a spaceship shooting, and it's just loud and everything. I'm like, no, I don't know how much this makes sense.
Yeah.
But then it reminded me of remembering like Dead Space,
yes.
2. Where there's,
I think it was 1.
Is it 1 as well?
I think it's 1 you're going along, and then all of a sudden,
there's not like huge sections where you're in zero gravity, but there's little bits, and always, because it's like silent.
Yeah,
you can't hear anything, and then you're sort of like just turn around, and one of those things will just be
like flying up claws trying to get
awesome,
you.
Because you've got no like audio cue, because usually in those horror games there's like some kind of sound
you can hear them making a noise.
Whereas there's nothing. That would be quite cool if there was you could get away with firing off a few shots maybe
without anyone even realising it being hit. Yeah, that's a cool. Yeah, so well, I'll show you the trailer later on. It's pretty cool. I think what was quite funny I saw was, at least just from looking at my phone previously, was that the original trailer, obviously it was much more, it was like a CG one done on PC. This game, by the way, is coming to PS4 and PC. It was a bit of a CG trailer, so it looked...
In your face, Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like fantastic. I was like,
cool.
This game looks amazing graphically. And then it kind of goes through the years of development, and it kind of starts looking a little bit worse.
Yeah,
still looks nice, but I think
though,
I think it's more realistic.
Like Watch Dogs and
exactly
everything.
It still looks good though. So the next little story article I've got, again, not a huge amount to talk about, more just an interesting thing, is there was randomly, well, maybe not randomly, but 3 days ago, so we're recording on the 19th, this is on the 16th of May, Microsoft and Sony made a cloud gaming and AI partnership, which was like, has hell frozen over? What on earth?
Well, what was that show? Was it the Game Awards where they?
Jeff Keighley got all three of the heads.
Is that
out.
Reggie
for Nintendo?
Phil
Spencer and Sean Layden.
Yeah, they're
come
all
out all together,
nice
and, like,
little
handshake and
in my head they're holding hands, but I don't think they were holding hands.
No, let's imagine that they are.
That's
a nice image. Yeah.
Do you reckon that? Because obviously it was a really cool moment. They were all there, like usually they're just at war. They hate each other.
Yeah, I imagine they were swearing each other.
I imagine they sign each other up for like spam emails.
Yeah.
But I like to think, because obviously this was a nice moment, but I like to think that maybe like Reggie was squeezing their hands quite hard if they were holding hands.
But he's not there anymore.
I know.
Maybe this led to him leaving.
It's Bowser, isn't it? Bowser's got rid of him.
Indeed, yeah, you're right.
What does this mean then? I don't.
So I've got a little quote here. The two companies will explore joint development of future cloud solutions in Microsoft Azure to support their respective game and content streaming services, Microsoft said in a statement. Now, Sony's existing game and content streaming services will also be powered by Microsoft Azure in the future.
So does that... PlayStation Now is the current...
PlayStation Now is the current one. They bought the company Gaikai, I think it was called.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah. And look, Sony have always... I don't think it's anything wrong to say, but they have always struggled on the software side of things. Like, the PlayStation Store is a bit of a mess still.
It's always like
their software, like the actual UI and everything. Sometimes you just load up the PlayStation, just for a couple of seconds, nothing happens, or you can't move around.
Yeah.
So it's just lots of things like that. The fact you've just been able to change your PSN name after over a decade of PSN being a thing, or almost a decade of it.
A bit more than that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, probably 2007, 8.
Okay.
Probably just after the PS3, I think PSN came out. So you've just been able to change your name for the first time, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they've obviously not been great at the software side of it, whereas Microsoft, as a software company, have generally speaking had a much better job of it. And Microsoft's Azure is their cloud system, which I think is only second to Amazon's for how much of like the internet is like reliant on it. So right. AWS, which is Amazon's web service, that like runs like something like 60% of the internet is run on that. But then Microsoft is like in second with like 30, and then I think Google are next. So hopefully this will boost up their kind of streaming related stuff that's probably going to be coming next, or kind of a bigger push for streaming for next generation. Yeah. I imagine.
Do you think this? I don't know. Probably not. But do you think it's anything to do with Google?
I think massively. I think this is a big reaction from both of them, being like, right, whilst we are competitors, we're not also like 12-year-old kids. Kind of, we can work together and still make our own.
It's kind of like they've seen the new kids come in, and they're like, well, we like
we're the old guard. Yeah, we're gonna sort this out. So yeah, Microsoft bigged Sony up being there was a leader in both entertainment and technology, because there's also alongside the cloud gaming stuff, there's going to be collaborations on semiconductors and artificial intelligence. So Sony, I think, have had quite a bit of history of semiconductors and like chips and stuff like that. So they will obviously lend their expertise on that side of things, and probably just general gaming nature, because they've been in the game longer than Microsoft. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting thing to hear and see happen. But I personally think it's a bit of a reaction to
Stadia.
And I think Amazon also have a bit of a gaming push going on. I think they're going to be.
Well, you'll remember what game they made.
What game did they make?
The Grand Tour.
Oh, yes, you're right. On the first episode, still your game of the year?
Still Bomb Squad's official game of the year.
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So Don't forget about that.
I refuse to. Another little bit of a small little story, not much to talk about. Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
that blocky game we all love.
Yeah.
Has just had its 10th anniversary. Can you believe it's been 10 years since Minecraft?
Yeah,
kind of came out.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's now sold over 176 million copies, which unofficially / officially, potentially, kind of, no one's really sure, makes it the biggest selling game of all time. Behind or just in front of Tetris. But Tetris is... People aren't
how
really
do you count Tetris?
Well, exactly. That was the thing. No one's really sure how to count Tetris, but people are now saying that Microsoft
I think I'm happy for Minecraft to be number one.
Something which really blew my mind was active install base. So we think of like active users, basically. We think of one of the biggest games that has happened in the last couple of years was Pokemon Go, where literally even kids' parents were getting involved with that.
Yeah.
So... I think at least according to this article, at its heyday, Pokemon Go was like around about the 20 million player mark. So 20 million people all playing at the same time, basically, or kind of at roughly the same time. Minecraft has 91 million active players currently. Like, I feel like I don't hear people talk about Minecraft that much, but it must just be like so synonymous now that just people just forget to talk about it because it's just part of life almost.
Yeah. And it's kind of like replaced Lego, hasn't it, for kids as well?
I was going to bring up that I think it's done an incredible job of just becoming commonplace now in that it is digital Lego. That's not even like a novel thing to say about it. That's just is the way. Like there was Minecraft for schools. So Microsoft give out a free version of Minecraft to schools for people to learn how to build things and create things. So it's becoming part of curriculum almost as well, which is crazy. But yeah, good on it. I think they're
not just releasing.
So as a side note, I was going to say
AR game.
Yeah, they've announced Minecraft Earth, which is just in beta currently for iOS and Android. And the idea is basically Pokemon Go on steroids. With it, I think you through your phone, your kind of augmented reality, you can create stuff in the world. But as far as I can understand, I think the things stay there, so you can go round and like build something in a shopping centre, and then when you go back there, that building will still be there when you look at it again.
But people can go and like knock it down.
They can go knock it down. They can build things on the side of it, so you're almost going to be living in an augmented reality real life world of Minecraft also being played on top of it, which is exciting. I think it's quite a cool idea.
It makes me think like if they can get a kind of glasses. Or like a glass thing so you can just see it. Imagine turning around and then seeing a creeper.
Well, I think Microsoft's HoloLens, which is their AR glasses, the team of that have been helping out make the game.
Cool.
So yeah, very, very.
I'm sure it's going to be massive,
cool.
actually.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a really big thing.
And they're free to play as well, so of course. So it brings me to my last bit of news here, which I think, for you at least, is the biggest bit of news.
Yeah, I can't believe you're doing this to me again.
I know, dragging you through this once again. But there was a rumour, a Rocksteady employee may have accidentally tipped us off as to what they are working on. We have Eddie Stubbington. Tweeted, I guess now is a good time to say next week I'm joining the awesome team at Rocksteady Games in the QA team. And then he tweeted with that a picture of the Justice League.
So the picture he tweeted as well, I saw a few people getting confused about this.
Saying
it was like a new thing, like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
But it's actually... You know how at the beginning of Marvel films it has the little like another little comic book thing and Captain America's thing shot. It's kind of that shot that he did is the ending bit of that for the DC films,
right?
Which obviously people don't recognise because no one goes to watch the damn films. Please do it.
No, don't
please. I very nearly went on a big tangent then.
Yeah, do it. It's fine.
No, okay. I'll very quickly. I watched Aquaman the other week.
Oh yeah,
enjoyed it. Decent film.
Cool.
6.5 out of 10.
That's fine.
Then I was looking. I've been very closely following the list of highest grossing films of all time.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I can't wait for Endgame to overtake Avatar.
Yeah, which is happening soon?
It's gonna next 2 or 3 weeks. I think.
Yeah.
Because it obviously started to slow down now.
Yeah.
But I sort of was looking at the franchises that had made the most.
Okay. Oh yeah, cool.
And obviously, so then you go through, and I think the DC extended universe is fairly high up. Obviously, like Aquaman made 1.14 or 1.4
it definitely
billion.
went over the one.
Beat Captain Marvel. And I looked through, and so obviously all these films have got quite bad reviews and stuff. Maybe apart from
middling, I'd say most of them are middling. They're not that many are actually like.
But there's a very bad perception.
There's a bad perception. Yeah, you're right.
But so Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam have actually sort of changed that around a bit, and those films are doing they did quite well. But I looked, Aquaman made a lot of money. Wonder Woman made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Shazam
has made a lot.
No.
Oh really?
Shazam last check made like under 400,000.
See that,
and it's one of the best received. Of those movies.
I kind of am not that surprised by that because I don't think
people don't really care about Shazam. That's the other problem.
Yeah,
people liked Aquaman because it was Jason Momoa.
And he like, I don't know. It just feels like more people are aware of it, whereas I feel like not. Other than just seeing the ads on posters and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm being a massive hypocrite because I'm complaining I haven't seen Shazam.
No, but that's right. But this all leads into this whole tangent about talking about films and stuff. Is because
it's the final shot. You know, it's all the DC heroes there, and so this guy tweets this image out with that message says, "So I'm at Rocksteady now," or something like that.
Yeah,
with this image of the Justice League.
Yeah, working in the QA teams, the quality assurance team. Within a Justice League picture. So is he working on the QA of a Justice League game? Chris, tell me.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's a guarantee.
You think so? No, you must. I think
maybe.
I don't know, man. It might be, but it could.
How do you? Right. Let's go into a hypothetical situation here. It is a Justice League game. We talked about what Rocksteady were gonna do and how they were going to announce.
I think last week I said it could be like Teen Titans or
and we're gonna have that E3 thing where WB Games will come out, make an Arkham game, and then Rocksteady will come out. The lights will stay down. Rocksteady will come out, announce the game. Now it is a Justice League game. Talk to me about. Would you want to see if they're going to do it? If they're committing to that idea, are you wanting to see like every single character playable?
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to do that. If you're going to do a Justice League game, you have to have everyone playable.
From the outset? Or is this a living game where characters get added in?
Oh, don't do that. I don't know. He deleted it, didn't he? That was the thing. He deleted it as well. If he'd left it up, you'd be kind of like, there's something weird going on. But the fact that he's deleted it either because of all the replies that you got saying, you've just confirmed it, whatever, or because someone at Rocksteady went, dude,
you shouldn't have done that.
What are you doing? This is like such a good secret.
We're a month away from this secret. We can reveal it.
Or does it just mean? Because technically, it's not
a DC
technically
picture.
It's not a Justice League picture. Technically, it's just a picture of DC characters.
Okay.
So does it just mean it's in the DC universe? Is it a? I mean, I think
it wouldn't be a surprise of Rocksteady making a new DC game game. That's not a surprise. Obviously, that's absolutely confirmed 100% by that picture.
I think so.
There's absolutely no reason for him to put that picture if Rocksteady isn't working on a DC game. I think that
means it's probably not going to be like your Ninja Turtles game or...
Yeah. Yes, good, because that was a rumour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's shot down now.
Yeah. Suicide Squad?
Could be. I think it's going to be Justice League. Because it's been a long-standing rumour, hasn't it?
Yeah.
For them to do that.
But I think, I don't know. My worry is that it's doing the same thing that the movies are doing wrong. In that they've made an amazing Batman universe. And they've spent ages on it and 3 amazing games and all that. But why not now just go Superman?
Yeah. The individual stories and then build to the big one.
Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg. I think Wonder Woman for me is
got a sword.
If I could pick what their next game was...
It's one of the most like relatable to game mechanics.
And I would, you've got 1984, the Wonder Woman 1984 comes out next year.
Yeah.
Man, that because I think it would just be such a it would be it'd probably be the easiest one out of the rest of the Justice League to get right.
To translate to a gameplay.
Maybe Cyborg would probably be easier.
Sure.
So I don't know, but yeah, maybe it's a Justice League game. Maybe they're jumping straight in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be cooler to see individual games come out and hint at it.
Yeah, hint at a bigger thing coming.
But maybe you get out there with your Justice League game, and then Square Enix are literally about to announce, or hopefully, are going to give us more detail on the Avengers game, and that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Then we'll see who.
A big show.
But who do you trust more, Square Enix or Rocksteady?
Rocksteady.
I know who I trust.
Absolutely, Rocksteady. Yeah. Although, isn't it? It's Crystal Dynamics who are doing it, who are the Tomb Raider guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good.
It will be good.
I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to talking about that. Well, hopefully, if they actually say anything about it.
Yeah, because even though the Tomb Raider games, I think, slowly declined a little bit in kind of how well they were received, they were still received very well.
But I think part of that, and having only really played the first redo of first of their new game.
Let's just call it Tomb Raider 1.
Yeah, and having only played Tomb Raider 1, from what I gather, it's more that they didn't like super build loads on it, rather than it being they weren't as good. It was more a case of like
evolution, not revolution. Kind of type of thing.
Yeah, which I don't think it's a massive issue.
No, not at all. Awesome. Yeah. So hopefully then, I think what we're going to be, we are 2-3 weeks away from E3. I think at the time of recording. So I think we're going to have a lot of news.
Yeah.
I think I think this means we're getting Rocksteady's announcement. I think we're going to get the Avengers.
No, I don't. Yeah, it might do. It might be. It might not.
I think we're getting it.
I feel more confident that we're getting Avengers.
Sure.
No, I don't even know that, because the thing is, Square Enix have got Final Fantasy VII, and they know they've got that. So they know they're going to have something big to show.
Yeah. It just seems so weird if they didn't announce it now and just say, for example, they waited till next year to announce the Avengers. It's like, Avengers is so hot right now, type of thing.
True,
it's so on topic.
That's true.
That surely you want to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
With it, but
I don't know.
Who knows? Right. Well, that's all I had for the main kind of news that kind of picked up over the last couple of weeks. But so let's do a little bit of a halftime. We'll have a little break from the news.
Stretch out.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. We'll do a little bit of yoga. So
downward dog.
As is normally the tradition with halftime, we'll have a little quiz, game and stuff. So you quizzed me last week, last episode, on bosses.
We played Boss or Dross.
Yeah, and I did pretty poorly.
You did all right. You got the one. You got it was probably quite hard.
Yeah, there was a couple of poor. No, I don't think it was that hard, to be honest. So what I thought I'd do is I'd repay that to you with what I'm calling Year of the Indie.
Oh no.
Okay. Now the way this is going to play out is I went back over the last 5 years VGAs, the Video Game Awards, because it started in 2014. Okay. So there's been 5 of them.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what won Game of the Year each year.
Okay.
What I'm then going to do is give you the 5 nominations. I think there's always 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's always 5 nominations for the Indie Game of the Year.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me which one won.
All right. Okay.
Which one won. So, okay. Yeah, is that all okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So
can I also tell you which one I think should have won?
Yes, you can tell me. Okay. There's 2 points available. First of all, okay, we're gonna Game of the Indie Year, Game of the Year thing.
Indie Game
of the Year, Game of the Year game.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, you're also going to try and tell me the Game of the Year. I won't tell you actually. I'm gonna get you to guess that.
You're just gonna say the year.
Yeah,
then I
give you a bonus point.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna give you the year. Okay.
This is the last 5 years, yeah.
The last 5 years.
Okay.
We're gonna start with 2014. So we're gonna go from.
Oh yeah.
From old to new. So first VGAs 2014. What was Game of the Year?
2014.
Mm-hmm.
First Game of the Year. Dragon Age Inquisition.
That is correct.
Yes.
So yes, Dragon Age Inquisition.
If I got that wrong, I'd have walked out.
Yeah. Now, the main question: Indie Game of the Year, Independent Game of the Year.
Oh, okay.
Your nominations are always in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start with Broken Age Act 1.
I've played part of that.
Part of that.
Yep.
Monument Valley.
Okay.
You played that?
Yep, played that.
Shovel Knight.
Ooh.
Transistor,
Okay.
and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Right. Anyone I don't have any experience with there is Transistor.
Okay. Do you know Transistor?
Uh,
It's the one with the woman with the giant sword, and it's kind of 2.5D walking around.
Yeah.
Really cool art style.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the
I
developer.
think...
Broken Age, Monument Valley, Shovel Knight, Transistor, Ethan Carter.
This is hard because I'm between Shovel Knight and Monument Valley.
Okay.
I think it... Was it Monument Valley? I'm going to go with... I think it was Monument Valley.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, lock it in.
Locked it in. Right.
Is that right or wrong?
It's wrong.
Was it Shovel Knight?
It was Shovel Knight.
Yeah, I was going to say I think it should have been Shovel Knight.
Yeah. So...
Okay. So I was wrong.
So, got the bonus point, though. Got the bonus point.
Oh, for saying the real one.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to be very good at the main game of the year. No.
Yeah, obviously this is tricky because I'm not giving you any help.
Yeah.
But
I only remember that because I remember it being the first
one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. So 2015.
Okay.
Game of the year 2015. I will give the only hint I'll give you is that I'm pretty sure it won basically every game of the year that year. So this is a game which, when it came out, dominated awards and the like.
Okay.
2015.
2015.
Mega
game. I don't know. I'm gonna guess on everything. I don't know.
If you can't guess, don't worry.
I feel like I should make a guess, but I just can't make a clever guess.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Metal Gear Solid 5.
Good shout, because it's that year.
Is it that year? Yeah.
It is that year. However, it was up against... I really want to get the actual awards up as well for this.
Yeah.
Let me get these together, actually, because this is quite exciting. I'm pretty sure it was also up against Bloodborne.
Oh, big year.
The same year. Actually, just very quickly, I'll just tell you what 2014's nominations were.
Yeah.
We like to see what
go
everything's up to. So Dragon Age was up against Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
So maybe justly deserved, maybe not.
I don't know, man. I some good games in there.
Yeah. So this year we had Bloodborne.
Yep, 2015.
Fallout 4.
Okay.
MGS 5. Super Mario Maker. And the winner, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. Good games that year.
Really good games. That's a solid year. Now, best independent game.
Okay.
We have Axiom Verge, Her Story, Ori and the Blind Forest, Rocket League, and Undertale.
Oh, man.
Again, what a year.
Her Story.
No, Rocket League.
Oh, man.
Yeah, can you believe it?
Fair enough.
Huge game. Huge game.
Her Story should have won that.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, what else is there? Because there's something else good in there as well.
Ori and Undertale. Undertale's one of your favourite games.
Sick, yeah.
So we're gonna jump straight forward to 2016.
Was 2016 or 2017 the big one? 2017 was the big one. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
2016.
2016. I'll give you the game of the year.
Can I guess straight away?
Yeah.
Do I get another guess? Oh, and you tell me what the options are. Oh no, I don't get it, do I?
No.
Just sorry. I think Uncharted 4 came out the year.
It did.
Was it Uncharted 4?
No.
Okay.
The nominations were Doom,
Oh.
Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4.
Well, I'm going to go straight on the record and say that Uncharted 4 should have won that. No, was it? Was it Overwatch or Inside?
Overwatch did win it, yeah. I think it won most of the awards that year. Kind of, I think, just through sheer number of people playing at the time type of thing. Not a good year, but...
Good game.
Yeah, very good game.
I liked Overwatch.
Best independent game. So the real crux of the question here is... So your nominations are... Firewatch, Hyperlight Drifter, Inside, Stardew Valley, The Witness. So that was Firewatch, Hyperlight Drifter, Inside, Stardew Valley, and The Witness.
Man, I've played quite a few of these as well.
This quiz is hard. Sorry, this is a really hard quiz.
I don't think it was The Witness. I've got a feeling I just remember it not winning. Stardew Valley. So Stardew Valley, Inside,
Firewatch, and Hyperlight Drifter.
I don't think it was Firewatch.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Stardew Valley, Inside,
Hyperlight Drifter.
I just got this feeling it might be Hyperlight Drifter, and it's the only one there that I didn't play. But I'm not going to go there. I'm going to say Inside.
Correct.
Yes.
It had a Game of the Year nomination as well. So
yeah,
that was kind
that's
of a
what
hint.
tipped it for me. And Inside's crazy, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stardew Valley though.
Yeah, what a game.
Crazy good
What
game.
a game. What a game.
I love that game.
One man
played it on
did the whole
Switch.
thing. One guy did the whole thing.
Yeah. Really cool game.
Very cool. 2017. What a year in gaming, eh? What a year.
Yeah. I'm worried I'm going to get this wrong.
Right. Game of the Year.
Breath of the Wild?
Correct.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The other nominations were...
Wait. Odyssey?
Yeah.
Did Horizon get nominated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 more.
Oh, it was a nuts year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There wasn't any more Nintendo because it was Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, Horizon.
2017? 2 years ago?
Oh, Persona
5, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of the other one.
PUBG.
Oh, man.
PUBG.
I overrated PUBG so badly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild. Yep.
I played... That's the year. I played like 4... I know I didn't play PUBG. I didn't really play PUBG, and I'm now playing Persona, but I played all the other games.
Mental also.
As well.
Other winners, other games that came out that year. What Remains of Edith Finch?
Yeah.
Cuphead.
Damn.
And obviously the most important things being the best score / music and best audio design.
Oh, of course.
The winners obviously being Nier Automata and Hellblade.
Yeah.
I mean,
2017.
Two more games that could have been Game of the Year type.
2017 and 2018. My goodness.
However, the important thing was...
indie game.
The best indie game. Your nominations are... Cuphead. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Night in the Woods. Pyre. And What Remains of Edith Finch.
So hang on. We've got... So it's Hellblade. What Remains.
Cuphead. Night in the Woods. And Pyre.
So I'm saying it's between Hellblade, What Remains, and Cuphead.
Okay.
I can't remember. Was it like... I feel like I want to say Cuphead.
Okay. Are you saying Cuphead?
Yeah. I'm going to say Cuphead.
Yeah? You're right. You'd be right in saying that, yeah. That year, 3 games picked up 3 awards. Mate, Cuphead, Hellblade, and Legends of Zelda.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. All picked up 3 awards.
And that's nuts that Mario Odyssey didn't get anything there. What a game.
It joined top nominations.
Horizon as well, man.
Yeah, again, also joined top.
Games.
Now we come to the last year, 2018.
God of War.
Game of the Year, yes, God of War did win, yes.
Yep.
Up against?
Spider-Man.
Yep.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
I can't think what else was there that year. No, can't remember.
No. Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Celeste.
Yep.
And Monster Hunter World.
Yeah. Good year.
Yeah.
Good year again.
Yeah. So then we come to the most important thing.
Okay. Indie game. I'm not sure I remember this.
So the nominations were Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger. Good set of indie games. Dead Cells, man. Great game.
I'm going to say... My answer's going to be Celeste.
Okay.
The real answer should be Obra Dinn.
Okay. You'd be right on both accounts.
Do you know what?
Very worthy winner though. Celeste, absolutely
it's
fantastic.
really good. Really good.
Amazing.
Turn the Oberdin though, man.
Wow, what a game.
So original as well, man.
Exactly. I was thinking about something else recently where I was thinking about such an original concept. And it was, what was it that I was thinking of? Because obviously when we played Return of the Oberdin, we were like, wow, this is so refreshing and interesting and a new feeling as a game. Oh, it was Her Story. I was looking up stuff about Her Story. Such an innovative way to play a game.
Yeah. And I recently, Day 9 on YouTube, he put up a big playthrough of Oberdin.
Yeah.
With a couple other people, and I started watching a little bit of one of them. I was like, oh,
so good.
It's such a good game.
We'd love to kind of have more of that type of thing. But we'd love to see Lucas Pope do another thing as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Very good. Well done.
Yeah.
So out of a possible 10 points, you scored 6.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
That's right.
3 out of 5.
Above average.
Yeah. 60%. Excellent job. Gryffindor.
No.
Hufflepuff. I'm Gryffindor.
Hufflepuff for life.
Hufflepuff for life. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, good job on that, Chris.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hi guys, it's time for how long is it until we can play Pokemon Sword and Shield? This week it's 215 days until we can play Pokemon Sword and Shield. Thanks for listening.
Okay, yeah, so now next I thought maybe we can move on and do kind of what we said we were going to do last episode, and we kind of ran out of time, was have a bit of a discussion on VR, because I know...
Virtual reality.
Yeah, you played a bit of Moss, well, you played all of Moss, actually.
Yep,
and
finished it, mate.
We've both been... I think I was quite quick to jump onto the VR train, and you joined a little bit later.
Yeah.
And since then, I think we're both pretty big on VR, like we...
Yeah,
we enjoy it.
Big on VR.
Yeah,
pretty big on VR.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, just a bit of a wider discussion over some of the highlights I suppose we've had is really what we're getting at here. So I thought I'll kick it off actually with.
Go on.
Obviously I've talked earlier about Deracine, so I've kind of done the talking on that. I think it's a really interesting little experience, not too expensive, fairly short, 4 or 5 hours long, but just a nice atmospheric narrative piece, if that's what you're looking for. But one of my, and maybe even last year's game of the year for me, was Tetris Effect.
Of course.
Yeah, so as someone who played Tetris on the Game Boy when it was out kind of in the 90s or so, loved Tetris, really enjoyed it. Always thought I was okay, not like amazing.
I was always like, man, I'm great at Tetris.
Yeah. But always thought I had a good knack for it. Like knew what to do. Generally speaking.
Oh, you just gave me an idea for a game.
Ooh,
Knack Tetris.
Knack Tetris.
Knack Tetris.
Tetris with knack.
I think it's just normal Tetris, but Knack's just you're running about
in the background.
I
love
doing
it.
his stuff.
Perfect. But Tetris Effect comes around. I saw a trailer for it, I think in the E3 before or something like that when it first got announced. I was like, whoa, this looks pretty trippy. So it's by the I think there's a couple of different teams that work on it. I think Resonair is one of them. Can't remember the other names, but the main guy's I need to get the name right here actually. His name is Tetsuya Mizuguchi, I think, is his name. He is the guy that did things like Lumines and Rez. So Lumines is kind of like musical
it's a
Tetris
beat puzzle game.
Yeah, but like with kind of Tetris shapes and stuff. Rez also is kind of to the beat of music, but this time more like an arcadey kind of game where you're shooting stuff that are flying around you, but as you're playing, you're making music. So he then he dreamed of always making a Tetris game, and finally got the chance to do it. And they brought out Tetris Effect, so the idea of Tetris Effect is where you do something repetitive with shapes or sounds or kind of things, and you do it so often and so regularly that you begin to see it in the real world. So
not the game, the actual thing.
This is actually
the Tetris Effect.
The Tetris Effect. Yeah, they coined the phrase, which is where anything you do. So whether I think some people get it quite a lot of Sudoku.
I get it with Sudoku.
Yeah, maybe it was you who was telling me actually, where you do it so often, and then all you do is you just see it in the world.
You see the squares. I had a dream about Sudoku once. Well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool stuff there. Yeah. Cool stuff. But I really, so I'd obviously roughly heard of the phrase Tetris effect before. Obviously looked into it more when the game came out, and I've never had that kind of experience from a game where when I finished it, especially playing in VR, because you can play it 2D, but VR really adds a bit of immersion to the whole thing. I would come out of that and for hours later go on a night out or go visit friends or see people and stuff, and in my head all I can do is see the Tetris blocks falling, and I'm basically playing the game, like not even like pre-scripted, like I'm giving myself random blocks that are falling down and I'm having to make it work, and I'm making mistakes and stuff, and I'm literally playing it in my head, and it's all because of how infectious this game was to me. I think it's like 36 stages, each level a different song. The speed of the game goes up and down depending on the tempo and the movement of the music and the song itself. So it's quite nice how it kind of plays with the normal expectations there, instead of just always getting quicker. Sometimes
and
it slows
you actually
down.
Moving the pieces and then like hard dropping them adds stuff to the music as well.
So musical notes will happen. So as you twist around the pieces, that will have like maybe a piano note or something.
As you smash in those teaspoons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get the high score for that, definitely. And yeah, when you drop them down, when you get a Tetris, which is getting a 4-line clear, that will also give you some sort of visual and audio flourish. So for example, in the first level, if you get a Tetris, a giant whale will make the kind of noise that whales make, and you see it kind of lit up around you whilst you're underwater and you've got celestial bodies flying around you.
If I made a Tetris game, I would make it illegal to get lines that weren't in a Tetris.
That is bold.
Like
so you only play making Tetris.
If you put one line, if you put like slotted a long boy in on the far right to make one line, a big face, like my face,
your giant face would come through,
just shaking a disappointed head at you.
Well, I think we might,
and the game would be called Only Tetris.
Only Tetris. Okay. Well, this could be a potential game idea for TC Games. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll bank that. We'll bank that. But I just love the idea that you've got this beautiful music, beautiful visuals, all coming together with the most kind of, I hesitate to use the word basic, but Tetris is tried and tested. It's such an old idea, but it's still so good.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's one of the, there's not really any new gameplay.
It's just the zone mechanic is really the only new. So there's different generations of Tetris where you have things like hard drops, soft drops, hold mechanics, lock delay. So when it arrives on the bottom, you can still spin it.
You can.
So those over the years have been brought in, and I think Tetris uses basically the latest kind of standard set of rules. So you have a hold mechanic. You have lock delay, depending on what level you're on. You can have a hard and a soft drop. And the main thing that it brings in this is the zone mechanics, where you kind of hit one of the triggers and the game goes into complete slow-mo. So it goes down to the slowest speed, and you can clear lines, and the cleared line will then go to the bottom of the screen, and that will build up. And at the end, you basically get like a 10-line clear. So it's a kind of slightly different way of looking at it. Instead of trying to get them down as quickly as possible, you're kind of almost being a bit more strategic with it.
It's good for like building, if you're really good at it, you can build like good high score. You can get much bigger high scores using that. Or if you're not very good like me, it's a good way of
getting out of a tricky,
getting rid of like lines so you can actually survive.
Exactly. But yeah, you're right in terms of the core gameplay is just Tetris.
Yeah.
But I strongly feel, and everyone I talk to, I kind of try and say the same thing, but I really do feel that everyone, literally everyone.
You're just on the bus.
Yeah, I just turn around and I'm like, Tetris Effect, man, this is more than a game. Like, that's what I say.
Get away from me.
Yeah. I just like strap some headphones onto them and like strap a VR to their face and like play this game. But I do think it does go kind of further than just being a standard Tetris game. It actually, it almost makes you feel things. I've had people finish that first level and be like, wow, like that was like, maybe moving is a heavy word to say, but like it stirs emotions in you with how it goes. But yeah, so that was kind of my big pick, I think, of
my
VR games.
My favourite VR game.
Yes.
Similarly to Tetris Effect, is a music-based game.
Yeah.
Called Beat Saber.
Now talk me through Beat Saber. That's a cool name.
Beat Saber is a rhythm music game.
Yeah.
Imagine like the old dance mat games that you used to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
But basically,
Guitar Hero. It's like Guitar Hero.
Like Guitar Hero. But so basically, you're in a you put the VR headset on and you're kind of in a weird tunnel thing.
Mm-hmm.
And your two Move controllers or whatever controllers you've got are like lightsabers.
Yeah.
And in time with music that's happening, these cue boxes will come to you, and and there'll be different colours. So your two lightsabers are either red or blue, and you have to cut the box that is the correct colour to the lightsaber, and the box will also have a direction on it, and you have to cut it in that direction.
Yeah. So right, left, up, down.
Yeah. And some of them just have a dot, and you can cut them in any way.
Yes.
And there are bombs that you're not allowed to hit. You have to duck or move out of the way of large walls that come in at you.
They're kind of like laser walls, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of like that game show. What's that game show called where you have to...
We have to get into a position.
The hole. Is it like that? No, what's it called? You have to get into position. You have to like... this thing comes at you and you have to make sure you go through it.
Yeah. It's a VR version of that.
Yeah, and so you have to do that.
And heavy drum and bass.
And so the first time you play it, you're getting used to it, and they're very easy levels. It's really kind of like simple. And then I remember I played and I thought, oh, you know what? I might you'll try like a hard.
Yeah.
There's easy, medium and hard, and then I think there's expert or something as well. And you try a hard, and you die.
So overwhelming.
3 seconds, because if you make a few mistakes in a row, it just game overs you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just think, you genuinely think, I'm never going to be able to do that. That is impossible. And I remember playing, I think I just had maybe one day or something where I played it for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I completed every single song on hard.
Nice.
Just working through everything. You think, how on earth did I manage to get to that point? I know now I've not played it for a few months. I'd go back and be dreadful again.
But no, you get into that rhythm so quickly that once you... I feel like a lot of people, whenever I've showed the game to them, when they start out, because maybe they don't play that game many games themselves or something like that, they're always a bit timid with their movements. So they'll be kind of pushing around a bit with their arms flailing. But once you forget about the fact you're in a room with people watching you, or if you are on your own, if you actually fully go into it, it's almost like a workout. It's pretty intense. But once you do that, you start getting into the beat of every single song, and you understand that every kind of block is put there for a very specific reason, because it fits the beat, it fits the music. So once you can get into that and lose yourself in the song, it all begins to click and make a lot of sense.
It's so good. And the other thing as well is if you are just like, you're funny, you're not very good at it or anything, there's a load of different settings you can put on at the side. So you can do like half speed songs, you can do no fail, no bombs, no walls, stuff like that. I think you can also do a thing where it's like one-handed. Yes.
So there's a one-handed mode, which is like a lot of people are like, oh, I got on the high score, the leaderboard for one-handed mode, because it's even harder.
Yeah.
There's also a 2-player option.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking you could probably get 2-player somehow.
There's 2-player where one person has VR and with one arm, and then the other person has the other arm but is watching the TV.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't actually tried it, but I'd really like to one day.
Really cool game. Only like drawback of it is, and this is just on the PlayStation version, because I know on like Steam and that you can get any music, I think, can't you?
Well, you can do a track editor, so people make their own songs.
Yeah. Obviously on the because of licensing music and stuff for Sony, there's only a specific amount of songs you can have. But I like the songs.
Good songs. They could maybe add a slightly more diverse collection, because they're pretty drum and bassy kind of heavy. There's a couple of like rock related ones that are quite nice to have a bit of a difference. But yeah, such a fun game. Really like really simple, and I don't know if I'd say original idea, but like just a really simple idea executed so well.
Yeah, that moment when you finish a level and you have, it's like the last 2 boxes you have to do, or the last box you have to do, and you stand there and you're like, yes.
Yeah, I love to tap the lightsabers together, because you get a bit of vibration kind of.
Or like put them into the floor.
Yes,
Oh man, such a cool game. I want to go play it now.
Yeah, very, very good fun. A couple of other VR. Obviously, we've talked about Moss. We both absolutely love
Moss.
it.
Play Moss.
Huge recommendation. talked about Terracine, Beat Saber, Tetra Effect. I just had 2 other on my list here, which I don't know if you might have some others. One of them was Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Oh, so fun.
Which is
such a fun game.
Such a great idea. And if you don't know, the idea is essentially there is someone in the VR headset and they are kind of the lights come on and they're sitting at a desk and they have like a briefcase bomb in front of them. But this is like full on like James Bond-esque. So like you've got this briefcase and on it is a load of switches, panels, lights, like numbers, puzzles. Yeah, they're all different puzzles basically. We have to cut a certain wire. But the cool thing about it is that it's meant to be a multiplayer game. So everyone else in the room on the TV screen is seeing the bomb what's the word?
Kind of like the rules for
rules for how each of the puzzles to disarm the bomb, disarm kind of manual. So they will be flicking through the pages. So you will describe the bomb or the puzzle that you're seeing. The team around you then have to find the right page and then follow a preset load of rules. So it could be, right, with the wires one, it could be like, right, how many wires are there? Right, there's 4 wires. Okay, right, if there's 4 wires...
So it might say, if there are 4 wires, cut the white one first.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, there's no white wires. So then you have to go to the next rule.
Or it might say 4 wires, no white wire, and there's 3 black, cut the second one, or something like that.
Or it's like, if there's a black wire, then and the serial number starts with an odd number, cut this.
Yeah, so it kind of links in a couple of the different puzzles together.
And the puzzles, like, when you start off easy, it's fairly, you can get it done quite easy, but it gets pretty
tricky. Yeah, it gets pretty tricky. And also there's a timer going, which is obviously counting down to the bomb exploding. Yeah. And the music gets more and more stressful as you get closer to the end.
We played with a big group once, and the guy that we went to, he'd printed off the whole...
He printed off the manual, didn't he?
So we had the physical manual in front of us that we're passing around. That was great.
Real dedication to the game there.
Really cool game. It's cool it works with just 2 people. It also I think it probably works better with 2 people, because when you've got like 4 or 5 people trying to explain to you what you're meant to be doing.
Now that depends on what you mean by better. I think technically to finish the level, better, yes, 2 people probably. Better in terms of being chaotic fun, definitely a big group where everyone's arguing. You need to
have a rule in saying you only, like, you can talk, but you can only have one person giving instructions. Because if you've got one person in your group who wants to have a little bit of fun and mess people
sabotage
up.
a few things, like a certain Chris Sloan.
Ooh.
A lot of fun. Cool, a lot of fun. Good party game. Hugely recommend. The other game that I had in here was Astrobot, which I think pretty much last year won every VR game award.
Such a cool game.
Very, again, simple idea, similar to a 3D Mario-esque type game. You are a little robot, cute, very, very cute little robot.
You're actually a big robot.
Actually, yeah, good point. You control Astrobot, the little cute robot.
Yeah.
And you're just walking around a preset level, trying to get from one end to the other, essentially.
Yeah.
But along the way, it's such a charming game. Whether it's the music, whether it's the design. One of my favourite things is where you're walking along and there's kind of an optional collectibles thing, which is other little Astrobots in the world, which you have to go around and then kick, and basically they kind of fly into your controller, and that means you've saved an extra little Astrobot robot. But they are doing some of the most ridiculous things at times. Like sometimes they're like hanging off a lamppost kind of by their cape or something, so they're flailing their arms. They're all making cute little kind of help me little noises and stuff. But then like every night, most of them will be in like precarious situations. You've got to kind of carefully get up there and save them. And then every now and then it would just be like, you'll be on a beach and there'll just be one behind a bush sitting on a sun lounger with his feet up reading a magazine or something. We're not giving a care in the world, but there's just so much personality to them.
I also really like the chameleons on each level.
Yes, another little collectible.
So you have to physically look at them for like 2 seconds, and they
pop up and they're like, oh, and they run away, and that means you found them. But every single world is different themes, and what I found really refreshing and fun about it was that almost every level you go to, there's some sort of new mechanic or some sort of new idea that's brought in, and every time it's really refreshing, very different feeling, and it consistently does that throughout the 5 worlds that you go through. Like I remember the first time you go underwater, it's suddenly like, this is completely different. This is a completely different game, but it's really fun.
I've only played the first 3 worlds, I think. I've still not quite finished it. But the 2 things that stand out for me are firstly the boss battles that I've done so far. The bosses are so good. At the end of each world, there's a little boss.
Yeah, again, really good personality with them all.
And also, it's that feeling of when you. So sometimes, you can just you can blitz through one of these levels in probably 3-4 minutes. Probably you can get through the whole thing and get to the end, and then. But, there might be, every now and then you sort of sit there and go, right, I'm going to try and get everything in this level. And you spend maybe 20 minutes going everywhere you think you can physically go. And you're like, right, I've collected every single astrobot in this level. And you get to the end, you jump on that weird button.
Like bouncy trampoline
to finish the level. And then it comes up saying at the end, it comes up saying how many you got out of the total. And you always miss one.
There's one.
And it's infuriating.
Yeah, and he's probably in a cliff or something that you need to smash open or something.
Or he's right at the beginning of the level, right behind you.
Yes.
Oh. And I always start every level just looking behind me now.
Initially, when they kind of announced it, I was like, right, this is just like a Mario game, but PlayStation. I was like, how is that going to be good in VR? I think it does VR really well in you being interactive in the world. So you can just look forward and you're like, oh, this is the level. And then the second you start turning your neck, looking around, you see you are in this world. Everything is around you. You can peer around corners. You can look under things, over things.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have to interact as well with your physical head, it's like there's a guy kicking footballs and stuff. You have to headbutt the footballs.
Or break walls to get through.
Yes, yeah. Really cool. Inventive, very fun. Hugely recommend that game as well.
And as well, I think the other thing, because what put me off the VR for so long was just the kind of getting into it, I think.
Of course.
And obviously we've got PlayStation VR, which is probably, it is the most, cheapest way to get
cheapest way, and also the highest selling, I think, because of the fact it's the cheapest and so many people have PS4s.
I mean, the starter pack is like £240 on Amazon. I think if you go to eBay, you can probably get it.
You can get it less for eBay, and they've done some amazing sales. Like, I remember there was around, I think either Christmas or Black Friday last year, they had like a starter pack. It came with the Move controllers. It came with Astrobot VR Worlds and another game as well, I think. Something like Borderlands 2 or something, which also, by the way, Borderlands 2, the whole game is in VR, which is nuts, the fact that they did that. But that was, I think, like 180 quid for that whole pack. Absolutely mental. So you can wait around and get some pretty good deals on it.
Yeah.
Because when it launched, I think it was £350, which is the same as a PS4 Pro. But yeah, it's quickly come down, which is great. So hopefully, next generation we will maybe get a PSVR 2. There was some rumblings, some rumours that maybe won't even have a wire connected. It'll be wireless, which would be great.
Good. The wire is kind of annoying.
Yeah. And new Move controllers. We need actual VR created controllers. Yeah. Whilst the Move controllers are good, they were not made for this. So it would be good to have things that you can actually have like finger control and stuff. So yeah, I think I'm hoping there's a bright future for it, because it is a completely different way to play a game. Which is
definitely,
it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, yeah, brilliant. I think that was most of the things we wanted to talk about this week. So thanks obviously as always for listening in, and look out next week for our Final Fantasy special. But just before we leave, I've been very quickly reminded of Chris, because I'm very forgetful at these things, that we have to do our bet.
Yeah.
And we've got to check in with last time as well.
I know why you didn't want to.
I know, just go, you
want to talk about the bets.
Yeah, maybe that was a subtle...
I know why.
Wanting to forget and move on with that. But no, we must stick to tradition.
So last time we were talking about the Uncharted games, weren't we?
Yes, we were. So
how long it would take to play every single one, not including the card game.
Not including the card game. So just to recap, that was Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, Golden Abyss, and Lost Legacy.
Yep.
So
I said 56.5 hours.
You said 56. I had said 65. According to How Long to Beat, the average time to complete each of those games added up was 60 hours, which once again means that Hufflepuff have taken the point.
Team Hufflepuff, mate. Hufflepuff for life.
Yeah.
Is that 3-0?
That is 3-0 Hufflepuff Gryffindor.
It's not looking good.
No,
if you catch that snitch though, that's 150 points.
Exactly.
Straight away, it ends the game.
I'm searching. I'm trying to get it. Which moves us onto this episode's. I keep on saying week, but it's this episode's bet because we don't do it weekly. But anyway, this episode's bet is slightly different. Normally we've gone for something relating to a number so that there's a guaranteed winner because it's whoever's the closest to it. This time I thought we'd change it a bit. There's a chance that neither of us are going to win this. In fact, I'd say there's maybe quite a high chance that neither of us will win this.
Maybe.
But what we've gone with is, so it's my birthday coming up soon.
Oh,
so
happy
it's
birthday.
the 25th of May. Thank you very much. I think, we won't have an episode out before then. So, my birthday coming up on the 25th of May, which is the Christmas of May, as I like to call it.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. What we're going to do is do a bet on when you load up the PSN store. So I'm going to turn off my PlayStation. It's a completely fresh boot. Okay. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to go to the PlayStation store and see on PSN what is the first thing that is being promoted. So, for example, over the last couple of weeks when you go on Days Gone is the first thing you see there. And obviously offering you to buy that game. So, on the 25th of May, when you go on PSN, what's the first thing you see, Chris?
I'm playing it safe. I want that 4-0. I'm saying Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Still
You're going to stick with Days Gone. They're going to keep that promotional stuff going for it.
Yeah, they need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going a bit further out there. I'm going a bit wild with it. And that's... Actually, I don't know if it's really wild. I don't think anything we say is actually that wild. But what I'm going to go with is that it's not a game. It is promoting a big sale. Some sort of summer sale. Mm-hmm. Or May sale, which I think have actually just started. But they're going to push it towards the end of the month. Just in time for my birthday. So we're going to lock those in. It's got Days Gone for yourself.
Yep.
And some sort of sale for me. I'm going to call it the May/summer sale.
Okay, open yourself there.
Yeah. Well, I create the rules. So
okay.
That is locked in. We will find out in 2 weeks' time what that has been. Or not in 2 weeks' time, in a couple of days' time, actually. But
you won't find out until.
No, true. But anyway, so as I said before, thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to the next episode. Bye.